Welcome to the Lab Podcast, episode 14. I
Hello.
remembered our intro this time.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us. I say there's a special guest every week, but every guest is truly special in my heart. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you, Minavae, for hopping on.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you
having
so
on.
much for inviting me. I'm really honored to be a part of this. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, just a brief introduction for Mina. She's a full-time Twitch streamer?
Yeah,
At this point,
now.
yeah. Content creator, Twitch streamer, also does music and is a great musician and singer. And what do you think you primarily stream on Twitch? Like what category?
Music,
streamer?
yeah. I'm a full-fledged music streamer now.
And you're pretty like successful in my opinion. Like what would you? Okay, I heard a statistic. I don't know if this is true.
Okay.
That if you average more than 10 streamers on Twitch, you're above
10 viewers.
10 viewers.
Yeah.
Average 10 viewers. You are like the top like 10% of streamers.
Oh, let's
on Twitch.
go. Hell yeah. I
Isn't
think
that
so.
crazy?
Yeah,
Just
just
10.
because of how many people there are like streaming. Yeah.
Right. And you average way above that. I think the last time I popped in your stream, you were like around 100, maybe over.
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm averaging like 120. Still growing,
That's
still
amazing,
growing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. How long have you done like Twitch streaming and things like that? Like what really got you into it?
Okay, so my streaming history is pretty long. I actually started 9 years ago.
9. Wow.
9.
Like, when did Twitch even start?
Yeah,
like 9 years ago, right?
Twitch. So it originally was Justin TV,
Justin TV, right.
But Twitch became Twitch like 11, I would say. I'm not sure. Someone fact check me. But 9 years ago when it was primarily gaming.
Yeah.
So I was a League of Legends streamer.
Oh no.
I'm a little toxic, no.
Oh no.
But yeah, so now I'm a music streamer and I do not regret changing. Music has been so like welcoming the community and it's just been so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's great to hear. And 9 years in the industry is like pretty crazy. I think the first Twitch stream I ever watched was also League.
Yeah.
So I kind of relate to you in that part. But when it comes to music streams, I guess recently there's like, can't really recall like huge music Twitch streamers, you know? There's like the Korean guy. What's his name? Joe?
Oh yeah, he sings really well.
Yeah, he's like really
Yeah.
cracked. I think that's the guy I've seen a couple clips on.
Yeah.
And then I don't really browse the category. I'm still mostly there for gaming. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting category to like dive into. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think really is unique about, and as you said, the community is like welcoming and things like that. What do you
Yeah.
think is really unique about the music category that differentiates itself on the platform?
So like on Twitch I think there are so many talented people. We have people like Ari at Home who literally you know him?
Yeah,
He has like this 40-pound rig and he's just constantly carrying it with piano like in front and he's making live music
Right.
and it sounds studio quality and he's just like walking around literally everywhere like Europe, the States, and he makes such dope music and like people like him like really inspire me to do better and just be innovative and be creative. Besides that, I think the music community in general on Twitch is just super welcoming and they're so supportive. Like they just are really truly there for creativity, artistry, music, and they just love that it's like real time and really interactive.
Right. You can really see behind the curtains because you're just like right there.
Yeah.
It feels like you're almost like sitting in a studio session.
Oh, actually, so you know how usually we see musicians as just celebrity?
Right.
So I feel like Twitch really brings like humility. Like you can see people are humans, right? Because oftentimes like, especially on the internet, we forget people are people.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like they're like disconnected from you think of them as like higher up or unreachable.
Yeah.
But when you're on Twitch, it's so intimate.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with you. Like the kind of like the humbleness of like being there. Also,
Yeah.
you're just live. And I think the big thing about being live, I think why I think IRL streaming has been really popular recently is because you just get to see the raw footage of life.
Yeah.
Nothing edited. Like everything's happening real time. You get to experience it like and interact, right? That's a big part. And when it comes to music on Twitch, it's like, yeah, because when you hear the final product of a song or a beat, like it's already done. You don't really get to see the process unless there's like content behind it. But if you live stream like singing or making music on Twitch, like the audience gets to like experience the making of the song.
Like you get to bring them on your personal growth, your journey, and it's really cool because like sometimes I'll just write a song on stream and stuff, and people will be like, oh yeah, like I want to hear that at like studio, and then it's funny because they actually made me like the songs I've written way more than if they weren't there, basically.
Yeah, you would have like almost like a personal connection to it, you know, being there as well.
Cool.
I mean, it's great to hear that the community is supportive, because I feel like sometimes in the music industry, not that the audience isn't supportive, because I felt a lot of support through my entire career, but I will say like within the music industry itself, there's sometimes like tension or like the feeling of competition. I mean, recently the Drake diss track and Kendrick and everything, like everything's popping off, and that's not like a normal thing for like most people. Like you don't get to like, write diss tracks about people in front of millions, but there is like a sort of, especially I mean within underground music community of Toronto, there is like competition and people trying to one up each other and things like that, and it's great to have like a space where everyone's there just to support and they want to see the best of like what you can do in your career and things like that. I think it's great.
I think it's good to have competition because it pushes you to like be better, and like you don't always want to do like the same thing that everybody else is doing. You kind of want to set yourself apart, find like what works for you, and like it's good to always be better.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, on the topic of music and things like that, like what we know how you got into Twitch, but like, did you always know you wanted to be a musician, or was it like a recent revelation?
Yeah. Oh my God. So I started singing when I was 10. I started at a school talent show.
Oh, nice.
We did like Cheetah Girls. You know Cheetah Girls? Oh my God, it was so bad. But I always just knew that I wanted to do music. And my motto, like I always tell everybody, the reason why I do music is just because I want to inspire good in the world with my music, the way that music has been there for me. Like there's really few artists that I can really just like really resonate with. One of them, Madion.
Oh, Madion's amazing. Yeah.
If I ever like, I've seen him live once, 4 times in a year. One time.
4 times.
I love him. No, like in the States.
Wow.
I love him so much, and I always just feel so like close to his music because his music was there for me during like rough times. Right. So I kind of want to be like that for other people. And
people forget he was on Shelter too.
No, people know. People know.
I forget. Sorry,
How could you?
Because like everyone's like Porter Robinson, things like that. I'm like, yeah, Madion's on that shit too.
Yeah, Madion's great. Yeah.
And so so you kind of started singing like early on and things like that, but going through high school or choosing to go to college, university, like were you also focused on doing music full time?
Oh my God, yeah. High school life was great. I would spend 12 hours at school. So
what?
Yeah. So I was part of the orchestra, string orchestra. So like sometimes practice will start at 7 a.m. before 8:15 class, and then obviously class until 3. And then I was in jazz choir. I was in music theater. I was. Oh my God. And then we sometimes had music theater choir, and I would go home at like 8 p.m.
Wow.
I loved it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I actually feel similarly, where I was also part of like 3 bands in high school, and well, I didn't stay for 12 hours. Hell no. But yeah, like you would go in the morning sometimes for extra practice, or like talking to the your teacher and music teacher and stuff like that, and then you go through class, and you go to music class during the year, and then after the day you do like an hour and a half practice, and you're doing it like 3 or 4 times a week you know, with different bands. So I mean, when you immerse yourself in music like that, the natural feeling is that you want to do music for a living, right? So what was sort of the decision coming out, like graduating high school? What was like your sort of thought process?
So originally I wanted to play for the Toronto Symphony Orchestra.
Oh wow, TSO is cracked.
Yeah, I play the viola, and I thought I was like decent at least, but I didn't think I was good enough. Like I kind of chickened out the time of the audition, so I ended up not. Okay. So I ended up taking a year off school and like just worked a little bit, and then I found streaming. Nice. So it kind of worked out. Yeah.
I mean, kind of walk us through the process of an audition? Because I kind of know, because I also chickened out, to be honest. I also didn't think I was good enough, and
Oh, what did you for?
I was playing tenor sax, so I did a lot of jazz
Okay,
bands and things like that, but I never had like formal lessons or training. I just spent enough time and really enjoyed it, so I got like decent enough for a high schooler. And when it came time to like choose what to do after university, like you hear about all these auditions for like U of T or like these music schools, we got Humber and things like that. And I just see how much preparation you have to do and how
Oh my gosh.
trained everyone is. Like they've been doing lessons since they were a kid. I'm like,
I know.
I have no chance.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm literally competing against people who have been doing this since they were 3.
Yeah, they already knew they were doing this. I'm just doing this for fun. I just recently discovered, you know? So, yeah, I also, like, kind of chickened out, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go the safe path, and you just, like, you do STEM. I specifically went to U of T for, like, stats and physics.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I still enjoy doing music, but now it's a side thing. It's no longer, like, a job thing, right? So, yeah, that's sort of my thought process. So, like, kind of walk us through what the audition process looks like and why it's so daunting. Yeah.
So my music teacher actually made me take some private lessons, and the piece already just was a big step up from what we were already playing in repertoire. But it was just like you had to have like grade 3 theory. You had to like prepare like maybe like 2 or 3 pieces, I think, and you just had to like play in front of people who just know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
and
like
you're just like maybe I'm not good enough. Yeah, so
adjudicators are scary, man.
They
just stare at you, no emotion, no reaction.
I know, right?
And after they're just like,
you don't even know if you're good or not. They're just like, bye. Yeah, I'm like, okay. So I didn't even like go. I just chickened out. Yeah.
I'm sure it's like a difficult thing to have to like digest because you spend so much time doing music. And you're so passionate, and you are good, but in relative terms, like there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time and are like truly like gifted and things like that. And you feel like, oh, like maybe I'm not as good as I thought, or like maybe this is not the path for me. And coming to terms with that is like pretty difficult. But I think you've done a great job in terms of like, and I have a lot of respect for people because I understand that like maybe you aren't the most gifted or cracked musician, but because you love it, because you're passionate, and you spend a lot of time developing your craft, and on top of streaming, like I think the music category in streaming is really unique because it's just so pure. I think there's something to it, and like being in studio sessions and stuff, that's really where you manifest a lot of energy and how you find, I think, the best writing or the best production comes in like those sort of settings because of the energy. And live streaming music is like exactly that. So like when you first started streaming, or like when you took your break, and did you ever actually after you took your 1 year and you found streaming, did you actually go to school after?
So in my 1 year, I just kind of like focused on myself, worked on like mental health and stuff like that, because streaming really takes a toll on you. Yeah, like just how the internet is and just constantly having to be like a certain way because no one really wants to watch someone be miserable. I mean, unless that's your niche, obviously.
Just that's league, no?
Like Tyler What?
Oh yeah,
like
exactly.
he's just known for being an angry person. Exactly. So I mean, it works, but for the most part, like people don't really want to see you like upset because everybody has like problems in their personal life, right? So
it's entertainment. They want to be there to
exactly. So it took like a lot of mental, but I'm back and I'm good now. So yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely something that I feel like doesn't get talked to a lot. Like, yes, you are like streaming and putting yourself out there, but like you're getting constant bombardment of like feedback and people talking, and like the hate, when we get hate comments, or like as a musician or as a creative, it's like after the fact, where it's like kind of disconnected, like it's in a YouTube comment or something. But when it's like someone talking shit to you like right next to you, like right to your face, so when you get like hate comments like that, like right in live, how do you sort of like deal with that?
Personally, I try not to take things personal, because you don't know what these people are going through. Maybe they're just projecting. Maybe they just had like a bad day. But I personally don't think that you should let people like ruin what you got going on. Like if you're in a good mood, don't let one freaking bad apple like sour your entire day basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I do is I read it and I'm like, okay, I don't even acknowledge it sometimes. Just like ban. Yeah. Yeah.
It must be nice. So you just like ban it, get them out
Yeah.
of here.
Well, I don't. Actually, my mod team is really good on that. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. I mean, so I think you're in the middle. From my understanding, you're in the middle of like not a marathon, but a journey to Partner Plus,
Yeah.
which is a new thing for me. I didn't really know what it
Mhm.
was. My understanding of like Twitch subs and primes and things like that is that like you have to be a partner,
Mhm.
right? And that you need a certain amount of hours streamed to people watching or people following.
You need a certain amount of average viewers.
Okay, average
Yeah.
viewers, which I don't think is too much. Right?
They lowered it
Okay.
compared to before. It's 75 now,
Okay. Oh wait.
which
so-
is still a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so you have that, and that's the baseline to actually get the sub button.
Yeah.
To actually like donate or like pay money.
Oh, actually, they rolled out a new thing which is called affiliates, and for affiliates, you can get the sub button for like 10 viewers.
Oh, okay.
Or
Oh, that's
is
what I
it?
that's
I
what
don't
I
remember.
thought. Sorry. So
Yeah.
it's affiliate and then partner.
Yeah.
And then partner plus.
Yeah.
Okay. And from my understanding, obviously Twitch takes like a split out of that, whatever it is. And I think there was a recent like talk within the
Yeah.
past like 6 months of like they are changing the splits overall, and I
Uh-huh.
think a lot of people were like pretty upset because it seems like they're taking more money.
No, they're so basically they actually lowered the requirements for, so it's no longer partner plus, it's plus program. So even
Okay.
affiliates can actually get the split. So which is
Oh.
amazing for like the smaller streamers. Basically, if you hit a certain amount of threshold for subscriber points, your split goes up. So originally they take 50-50, which is a lot. Like tier 1 sub is $5. So you're only getting like $2.50.
a
But
lot.
if you hit a threshold, you can get 60%, and the highest they can bump you up is 70. So it's pretty good.
Like progressive, right? So
Yeah.
as you get bigger, you technically get more.
Technically,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I mean, and you said you recently hit the goal,
Yeah,
position.
we're right on track.
right on
yeah.
track. Okay, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll kind of pop in streams once in a while because Twitch is, I mean, as a gamer and also someone who like kind of likes the culture, like the Twitch culture, I kind of just pop in and see what's happening once in a
Yeah.
while. And I like when we first met. Actually, we haven't even talked about how we met.
Oh, yeah.
But when we first met, it was found out you were streaming and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was dope to like check it out, and it was a lot of fun seeing how you set up your streams and you're doing karaoke where you're
Yeah.
songwriting with like chatters and things like that. So kind of how much time did you have to spend streaming in order to hit that threshold?
Well, I would say I started really prepping and taking the music aspect like seriously sometime in August, because before that I was just like doing it because I love to do it. I wasn't full-time back then, right?
Okay.
So I officially went full-time about August last year.
Okay.
And I spent basically every moment awake prepping for my stream.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that much time, huh?
Yeah, because it's a lot. So I have live learn. So like people pay for me to learn specific songs.
Oh.
So sometimes it sticks really fast. You know, sometimes the song is a little like difficult or just doesn't really stick in your head. So it takes longer. I have to prep content. Like sometimes we'll do. There's a thing on my stream where my viewers make me eat soy sauce gummies.
Who? Wait, there's gummies?
Like
Like soy sauce?
so I buy gummies and I marinate them in soy sauce.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. I think my stream likes
It
to
sounds kinda
watch.
good.
Oh, you want to try?
I'd be down sometime.
One day. Yeah, so I've tried gummy bears and soy sauce in that Asian vinegar bottle.
Okay, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah. And tequila.
Okay, a little bit better. A little bit on track. So these are like punishments.
Yeah. So it's really cool. Like and we plan a lot of segments. Sometimes I take them out to like IRL stream, like ramen hopping. We just did that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you find IRL? It seems like stressful.
Oh my god.
If
yeah.
I'm like pointing a camera in public, I feel like self-conscious.
I feel like these days it's a lot better because it's more susceptible to the public.
Okay.
Before people be like, "What are you doing?" Like, but now everyone's like, "Yeah."
So I mean, when it comes time to like, you're trying to grow your stream and innovating things like that. I mean, obviously, audio like viewer retention, where like retention time, like how long they view the stream
Yeah.
is like pretty important. What is sort of? I mean, you plan segments, you have punishments,
Yeah.
things that are engaging. Sort of, what is like your streaming schedule like day to day? Do you stream every day? Are you a 9 to 5 streamer? Do you have like certain hours you
Oh my
try
god,
to hit?
9 to 5, jeez, that's crazy. I stream. So the week that just passed, I streamed 4 days. I spent 2 days prepping. One day I went to the studio to finish my EP. I'm trying to do like 5-day streams, but I find that so hard to just really balance because like where do I find time for myself kind of thing, right? But I think 4 days a week is the sweet spot.
The sweet spot, you think?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about mental health and finding time for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you are just broadcasting your life publicly for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And you have your own personal life to live. So if you're streaming every single day, we're streaming long hours, there isn't a lot of time where
There
you're just like,
isn't.
someone's not looking at you, you know? Like, you're almost like a zoo animal in a way.
Yeah.
How do you sort of like balance that, you know? I'm sure it can be really stressful where like on edge, feeling like you don't really have time, or like someone's always constantly looking at you.
Oh my god, yeah. How do I balance that? Well, I've been trying to be better about it. So a lot of times, I know a lot of people feel this way when they're taking time for themselves. They feel guilty because they're not spending that time like working or doing something productive. So I am one of those people who I just feel so guilty if I'm just like, if I feel tired and I need to lie down, I'm still like, I need to do work. Like I should be doing work. But at the end of the day, like if you don't have enough like fuel in yourself, then everything else suffers, right? Like your streams are gonna suffer, your music's gonna suffer. You're not gonna be able to write anything. Like, so just take that time for yourself because it's kind of like investing in yourself. Yeah, it's really important. Like you should put yourself first. Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, like if you invest yourself, put more time into yourself, better health, feel good, look good,
Exactly.
look good, feel good, right? Positive feedback cycle. You have better streams. The audience will be more entertained, and
just good vibes overall. Super important.
And in terms of music, you're also working on music on top of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, some aspect of it you're streaming, right? But also there's a lot of it that you need like on your own to like write and figure out EP ideas. And you said you were working on EP.
Yes, I have officially finished laying down the tracks to all of my songs. So I was originally gonna do 4 songs for my EP because that's kind of like standard, right?
Yeah, 4 or 5-ish.
Like for your first one, I guess. But like my stream has been just giving me so much support. So I was like, I want to do something nice for them. Like just add an extra song just so they could like enjoy it more. Yeah. So
that's great. Is 1111 gonna be on there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh
I mean, we were originally, just to give some context, we were originally gonna record this episode around the time 1111 was gonna release. So it was like great to release the podcast and also promote your song and things like that. But now we get to promote your EP instead. So do you have like an actual, I guess this isn't announced yet.
An actual like release date? Oh no, not yet.
Not yet.
It'll get the actual announcement will be maybe in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this episode will come out next Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays from now. 2 Wednesdays from now.
Okay,
So
nice.
around the same time.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So keep on a lookout for that.
Yeah.
I thought the song was great. What is sort of your inspiration or sort of idea, main theme that you talk about
In my EP.
in this EP?
So my EP is called Motions. And I think it's just about more so like a relationship aspect. So we have like, you know, the beginning, the butterflies, all the way to nothing's forever. You know, 180.
That is
Nothing's
so
forever. Yeah. So, yeah. And then for my additional song, it was a song I wrote when I was super like depressed, I would say.
Life?
Yeah, life just
Boys?
was no, not boys, just
Not
life
boys.
was beating me up. So I wrote. It's called Hold On, and relating back to like my philosophy with music. I'm really hoping that song will just at least like touch people in that way. Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thanks.
Do you have any like VODs people can kind of see like the process of making it, or do you have like social media content and things lined up?
Not really. I do have some behind the scene like footages and stuff, and that's not for the public yet.
Yeah, it's like, do you have like a Patreon you're setting up?
No.
No, not yet.
So right now, my T3 subs are gonna be able to see the exclusive content just as an
Oh,
incentive for like the plus
nice.
program.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's sort of tier 3 sub. You also get access to like behind the scenes / exclusive content.
Yeah.
That's great. I got a tier 3 sub now.
Yeah. There's an exclusive concert next Friday.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It won't come out in time for that, but I mean, people have already experienced it by now, right? Are you
Yeah.
live streaming that, or is it in person?
So that's gonna be live stream, but it's gonna be like not for the public, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like a private live stream,
Yeah.
and are you gonna do like kind of a setup like this, or like more
Yeah,
in front of your desk?
more in front of my desk,
Okay.
but I got some tricks up my sleeve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a tier 3 sub to check it out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, on the topic of like singer songwriting and things like that, how have you sort of developed your craft over the years? You know, one thing is like just experiencing life, as you said. You write about your experiences when you're down and things like that. Sort of walk us through how like you've sort of developed and thought of your craft like over the years.
Okay, so some of my songs are personal like experiences, and then some songs I write in the perspective of other people. And I think I do that because, you know, like Taylor Swift, right? She writes songs and everyone's like, who is this about? Oh my god, is it about this ex-boyfriend or this one? And I think that's just so annoying. Like,
Ooh.
just leave her alone. So that's why I write in other people's POV, because it's like keeps people guessing, right?
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm trying to like think of, Keshi kind of does it where, I mean, he's like in a marriage and he's like
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
What I would assume so, but he writes like such sad songs.
Yeah.
And he was explaining that he writes it from the perspective of if he was in the situation.
Yeah,
how would he
yeah,
feel, you know?
exactly.
So it's sort of like what you're alluding to.
Yeah,
I guess.
because sometimes, you know, like the song I recorded in the labs here, Impatient. So that song is about like somebody always wanting to be sexual with you and not like intimate through the heart kind of thing. And I've had people like, who are you writing this about? I'm like, none of your business. Like, I'm not gonna enclose that part, but
Yeah.
like if you relate to it, then like good.
Right. There's a little, I mean, the thing about Twitch is a little bit parasocial, right? Like, I think that's kind of the hot word being thrown around where like
Yeah,
people want to know everything. And even as a creative or an artist, when
Yeah.
when you're vulnerable, there are also people that like also kind of view that the wrong way, you know, and sort of try to be more parasocial in terms of like, oh, who is this person? Or like being obsessed with like, certain
Right.
ideas. And it's like not as healthy of that sort of relationship. So
Yeah, that's very popular in pop culture, like environments.
Yeah.
Just people being all about a celebrity and just
I mean, on top of live streaming, making music, own personal life, like you also have to market on social media and TikTok and Instagram and things like that. How do you sort of think of social media when it comes to like your own promoting your streams and promoting your music and things like that?
Yeah, social media is a very crucial, like it's a must. Especially on Twitch, like organically it's really hard to grow on Twitch because you know, you're only drawing from the pool of Twitch, right? And there's only a certain amount of people, and there's a lot of competition because a lot of people are doing the same thing. Like, you want to hear someone good? Okay, well, there's a lot to choose from. So social media is like really what sets you apart. I think it's really important. TikTok, super important. Instagram, like Twitter, just anywhere. Sir, did I answer that question?
Yeah. I mean, you're basically talking about how important social media is. And I think
Yeah.
you use it really well to promote your streams. And it is like you hit the nail on the head. Is like it seems really difficult to grow organically just on Twitch, like just hitting live and going on Twitch and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And it's really important to. It seems like the strategy is to build like an audience outside of Twitch and try to like funnel them into Twitch itself.
Like even people like T-Pain, he streams on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, he's like in the millions, right? Like in terms of followers. But he still only gets what, like a couple thousand people watching, which is still a lot. Like don't get me wrong. But in just that aspect of like from millions and
He's like such a big celebrity.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Getting, like, a couple thousand people watching.
Yeah, exactly. So still really important. So if you translate that into like people who have less followings, then it's like, you know, you want any and every amount of like viewership that you can get. Yeah.
When it comes to starting on Twitch, I know you started a long time ago, so it's sort of natural, like you kind of just did it,
Yeah.
you know. But I will say, I think the sentiment, I think this goes for most creatives in general, where hitting go live or starting streaming and things like that seems difficult.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know? So what advice, I mean, your own personal experience with that, I'm sure there's some times where it's difficult to go live, but you still kind of like go through the motions. What sort of advice and experience have you drawn from through your 9 years of streaming for people who want to get into it, whether they want to be a music streamer or not, it doesn't really matter, but like sort of going into that sort of career path, what advice do you have for them?
Okay, so personally for me, because like personal life really affects like the mood and everything, sometimes I will really dread like going live just because like you're just not in the right mindset, right? But I know, and this is like for a fact, every time I do end up going live, I just feel better because I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to have like this amazing community that we've been building, and everyone is just so nice and good vibes, and they just really like raise me up, and just that fact alone, I know that I will have a good time no matter what when I'm streaming, no matter what is happening in my personal life. So my advice for people who like want to try streaming is just have a plan, separate yourself from the other people, you know, but ultimately have fun yourself and just go live. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Do you find it difficult? I'm sure when you started, you probably were only getting like single digit streams or like viewers, not streams.
Yeah.
Was it really difficult to like have to stream in front of like essentially not anybody or like
Yeah,
other people
of course.
or like maybe some bots or whatever it is?
Yeah.
How did you sort of like figure that aspect of starting out? I think that's what a lot of people fear. Like, I think it'd be easy to start off if the moment you click go live is like there's like 100 people, right?
Yeah, that's
but
not.
When you first start, it's like
Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah. I would say like get your friends to watch your streams, like just for viewer count. And just have good content.
Okay.
Yeah, people think like they can just go live stream and just sit there, play video games, not talk at all. Like not talk because they have 0 viewers. But the thing is, Twitch is so like what's the word? Maybe like random. You never know when someone clicks into your stream.
Yeah.
So when someone clicks into your stream, you have maybe like a 10-second window to really capture their attention and be like, well, why should I watch this person's stream? And if you're just sitting there doing nothing, well, you're not really giving them a reason. So for streaming, you kind of have to be like proactive 100% of the time that you're live. Yeah. Because like imagine, so you're just streaming and then you do something like funny and then like someone clicks in right at that moment. They're like, okay, like this guy's funny. Okay, I might stick around a little longer and like check out what he's about. And like slowly people.
Ooh, okay, I get you. Yeah. I've thought about streaming a couple times.
Yeah, and then what?
I'm like, I can't do it.
It's hard.
I can't sit in front of a camera for like whatever 6 to 8 hours and just like entertain. Like, okay, I can barely yap for an hour on this thing.
Yeah.
I surprise myself sometimes. I'm usually pretty like introverted / like, I don't need to talk that much, but obviously when we're on an hour-long podcast and you just gotta yap, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think I would be entertaining in terms of like, I think my reactions are really funny, but as you said, there's a lot more planning and
Yeah.
thinking that goes on beyond just like
Exactly.
going
Yeah.
live, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to it's good for people to know what it takes a little bit, you know.
Actually, if you looked at me, do you think I'm introverted or extroverted?
You seem extroverted on stream, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm like I did that INF whatever the test.
Personality test.
Yeah. I'm 100% like okay, maybe not 100. Like I'm like 80% introverted.
What do you get?
INFJ.
Okay, I got an INFP.
Okay.
So we're
yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
What's a J in the P? I don't even know. Someone got to tell me.
J for just amazing.
Just
Got him.
and then P for poo. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super introverted, which is funny because people are like, "No, like on stream you're crazy and you're hyper." I'm like, "Well, it's just streaming." Like in person, I'm like, "Don't talk to me."
I see.
Yeah.
So there's something about like being behind the camera or in front of an audience that sort of like gives you the energy to
Yeah,
perform.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
cool. I mean, that's a really useful trait to have when you're a musician as well. Like when you're standing in
just,
front
like,
of an audience.
turn it
in front-
on.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. There are some musicians that I know or like creatives that I know that are like very introverted like day to day. And then the moment they step on stage, they're just like the best performer I've
Yeah.
ever seen. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they do it.
Trying to be like that.
Yeah, I think you can absolutely do it. And sort of, I have a really good question. I feel like I haven't really been asking guests recently. I think you're someone that's great to ask this question. Do you think that great art requires great suffering? Like, for example, like, do you think that to have art that transcends eras or art that you consider great, or when you see other art that you look up to, or artists like Mina, for example, that you look up to, do you think that their art needed to suffer in their own personal lives in order to create like such amazing art?
I don't think like that's a 100% statement. I think yeah, a lot of great music came from a place of like raw emotions. But obviously like there's music out there that are great and people are so like it just came from creativity kind of thing. But I guess you know what? I changed my mind. I think in essence you really have to know what it's like to suffer to make those kind of like for the rawest like emotions. Because how are you gonna draw from like what are you drawing from?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
stories.
you don't have an experience.
Yeah, you don't know, right? Yeah, but there's great music even though it's not from like suffering.
Yeah. I agree. I do think personally that there are like I feel like the best art I've made is in periods of like not necessarily suffering, but like tough times.
Yeah.
And I mean, suffering is different. People
Yeah.
experience it differently in their lives, right? And for me, I find that moments of difficult or like chaotic times, I find I make the best art. So I generally subscribe to that idea.
Yeah.
And art that I look up to, also most of them come from a place of like, as you said, you need to experience it in order to talk about it, right? And there's talking about it from a certain perspective, like an outside perspective, but you still need to like kind of understand like the.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm sorry, playing.
Yeah.
You come from like a genuine place, right? Also, random thought.
Yeah.
I was looking through your discography. I realized you had an NCS, no copyright sounds.
Yeah.
Like EDM track, basically.
Yeah.
What was the story behind that?
Oh my god, that is so funny. So when I went to school, so I was attending one of the University of Toronto campuses. And you know, I just joined like a Facebook group because I was just trying to be in the circle, I guess. One day on Facebook, there's the guy, so Krail, right? But like his real name, and he's like, "Hey, looking for like vocalist for a song that I'm working on." I'm like, "Hey, I sing." Okay, like I just submitted like a video of me singing. Out of everybody that submitted, he ended up choosing me and like the other guy on the track. So yeah, we met up at the Scarborough campus. We went to his dorm. It was just like a really janky setup, like his laptop with the like microphone. I forgot which one. Like,
I know the U of T dorms.
Yeah.
It was like what does he have? Like a snowball?
like something like blue. It was either blue or like a AT 2020 or something like that. but it was just like, you know, for back then it was really good for sure. And like we just recorded the track there, and then next thing you knew, he was like submitting it to like different record, like NCS and stuff like that, and then NCS actually ended up picking it up. But back then I didn't know anything about the industry. I was just like, I like to sing, that's it, that's all I knew, right? So the numbers were really like interesting. That was like, whoa, like what, it's sitting at 12 million.
Yeah, a couple million.
12 million on YouTube, and Spotify is like 5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy, but nothing really happened. Yeah.
Oh, really? So that was just kind of like a one-off.
Yeah. Well, for me at least.
For you, for
Maybe
you.
for Krill, like he ended up getting a lot of opportunities out of it. But like for the singers, because I talked to the other guy and we're like, oh, okay.
That was cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
It's just on your profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Basically.
It's just a cool couple million. NCS is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure as a streamer you understand too. Like there's a huge DMCA
Yeah.
problem with music, and TikTok is also fighting like a copyright battle with all the major labels in terms of what music is allowed on the platform and things like that. And Twitch was definitely something that had growing pains in that regard. So finding music that is not copyrighted is pretty crucial for you guys, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
DMCA and things like that. So NCS has like a special place. I don't know if you feel like it's come full circle, but like having music that Twitch streamers can use safely on the platform, and you
Yeah.
also now being a music Twitch streamer, it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if someone were to stream my music on their stream, I wouldn't copyright them.
Yeah, same.
Like,
Bro,
what?
it's like, I never thought of it that way, as on like, oh, like a huge streamer uses my music, like I need compensation. I was kind of just like, I think it's
It's cool. People
when
know
I
your
yeah
music.
when I listen to streams and I
Yeah.
find like a song that I really like, what I'm most sad about is like not being able to find out what that song is.
Oh my god.
I like it
yeah.
when streamers have like the command where you
Layout,
can
yeah.
go see what the song they're playing is. That, or like they'll tell you if you ask. So that's the only thing I'm a little sad about. But yeah, absolutely feel no ways about music being
Yeah.
like not DMCA. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish I knew more about the industry back then before like we signed the contract or whatever.
Do you feel like, I mean, so in terms of the music business, like there's splits.
Yeah.
and I don't know how NCS does it specifically, but because there's no copyright, so you don't earn essentially like publishing beyond like the song coming out. I can assume that like you kind of just sign on a dotted line. Do you like get anything out of it? Nothing. Zero.
Me personally, no. I didn't get anything out of it.
Jeez. Okay.
I mean, I was, you know, my name was on like montages. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Call of
Yeah.
Duty montages.
Yeah,
shit.
and like, there was like this Lee Sin like one trick montage that got 6 million views.
And he was using the song.
My song, my
Nice.
voice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wish there were more resources. Like when you hear stories like this, it sucks because it does so well. Like 1 million streams is about $4,000 ish, like plus minus, depends on like a lot of different variables. But yeah, it sucks that you didn't see a single penny because you just don't understand.
yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, looking back, obviously hindsight, you would have done things differently, but you seem to be at peace with. what it is
Yeah,
now.
because you know I did the best I could, and it was just like a good experience and opportunity. Like I don't really have any ill intent towards that. Like it's just, you know, I can still say, like, how many people can say they were on a 14 million like track?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy.
It's really cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You live and you learn. So yeah.
And it better happen like earlier on than like later.
Exactly.
On, or even now, right now. It'd probably be more detrimental for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what kind of dream projects do you have like coming out? You have your EP that's coming out. What other like sort of long-term projects are you working on, or things that maybe not working on but you would love to do? Yeah.
I would love to do like really cool music videos. You know, like when you have a vision, but like if budget wasn't a thing.
Right.
Oh my god, I have so many dreams, but you know, I just try to do the best I can with.
Walk me through like one of those ideas.
Okay, so let's see. I wanted to do a like that's something that involves fire, like a set that involves flames.
Oh,
Like
whoa.
I don't know how I'm gonna get a pyromaniac.
Pyromaniac? No, I think it's a pyrotechnic.
Oh,
I don't think you want a pyromaniac.
they're
on
the
set.
one who sets the fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wait,
yeah.
I could do that if you want.
I don't have insurance, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like burning stuff, you know, like really cool sets, pink sets. I
Oh, pink.
love pink.
Some like real Barbie shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not that kind of pink, like baby pink kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, just I don't know, like you know when like money isn't a thing, the world is your oyster. It's like I ever since like I started making music videos, every music video I watch, I'm just like, whoa, I'm like looking at the set, I'm like, whoa, how much does that cost? Yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy.
We do the same thing when we go
Yeah.
through music videos. We're just like, wow, I wonder what the budget is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And even like the crew alone is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're limited by money and budgets and things like that. There's only so much you can allocate towards it. But this is why things like social media or even like Twitch streaming is really cool in that regard, where it offers you an alternate
Yeah.
path in order to promote or use like a lower budget and to be able to like still achieve the same results, you know.
Yeah.
I think that something that's really interesting is when you're limited by your resources, I feel like you're a lot more creative with it, right?
Yeah.
Like
You have to be.
you can get $10,000 for a music video, but if you have 5,000, like you might be able to stretch that or like be more creative and might end up with a better product than 10,000.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm excited. Other stuff, I would love to do. You guys have mixtape coming out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like
We'd love to have you on.
yeah, that would be so cool.
Do a couple sessions, see what happens.
I'm down. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
do
like
it.
lab tapes is, I guess, just to like briefly go over it, is
Yeah.
sort of what this podcast is about too. It's like kind of gathering the community of people we know in our circle and just creating something cool, giving a platform for people who
Yeah.
may not be as big or don't necessarily like have as much of an audience, but they're still just as talented, and give them an opportunity to showcase like their skill sets
Yeah.
and things like that. And so that's sort of what lab tapes and what this podcast is about.
No, I think that's super cool, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this. Like I wanted to, and just I also just I am thinking about doing also like a segment on my stream where I bring on people who are less known, kind of like give them a space, kind of talk about their like hardships, how did they get to where they are, like talk about their struggles and just like lift people up really. Yeah.
Yeah, I realized a big thing I realized, and as you said, like uplifting people around you.
Yeah.
I spent so much time just thinking about my own career or myself, like early on in my career, and then I realized that like it's so much more fulfilling, or like you can go. Life is a lot easier when there's people around you that you can trust and like want to be there for you and things like that.
It's more fun too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I realized that it's not just about focusing on yourself, but it's also like uplifting people around you. You know, you're like go fast, go alone, but go far, go together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
And
think it's a really good idea.
I think there's enough success to go around, like
Absolutely,
genuinely.
yeah.
And there's so many like great and talented people out there that just, you know, like people always say like, oh, like, how come this person's music's not out, but like they'll like compare it to like the celebrities that are out. But it's just like I feel like the celebrities are just as talented, but obviously they have that resource, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like these people who are just like up and coming, it's like we kind of have to stick together and like give each other that boost to make it, to be able to have all that resource to finally like unlock your potential kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of the idea, and I think the stream segment would be like a really good idea.
Yeah.
And encourage it. And I mean, on the topic of giving a platform or helping like people who are not as known, what sort of advice now, like you gave advice for like starting Twitch streaming and things like that. What advice do you have just in general for people who want to get into the creative industry, want to start music, want to start Twitch streaming, all these things? Like, what advice do you have for them to get started, or like some, you know, advice or lessons you want them to know?
I think just put things out there. That is number one. I think so many people, they're like perfectionists. They're like nitpick everything. They're like, no, this one's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, put your first song out. that's gonna be your starting point, and then isn't it gonna be amazing? Like years down the line, you can refer back to your starting point. You're like, damn, like I grew. I'm so much better now. I've learned so much. Just everything, like it's amazing, right? Just put it out there. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't want to just say just do it, but just like
We're not sponsored.
Yeah. I did see that one episode. Okay. But yeah, just first and foremost, just get your stuff out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, that seems to be a sort of common rhetoric that I hear is just like, just do it, man. Just start. And that's how this podcast started too, was the idea that like, we don't know what we're doing, or we don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to start it and we're going to figure it out.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be, honestly, you wouldn't even be sitting across from me, where we wouldn't have this set up if we didn't just start,
Starting is really hard though.
It is difficult.
Oh my God. Yeah. Starting is like, you have all these thoughts, but oftentimes people will figure things out during like the process.
Yeah.
And it's also like when you start, you can get feedback. How do you get feedback if you don't start? How can you improve if you don't start?
People are giving you feedback on ideas you've never like gone out there.
Yeah.
What they're
Quote that.
Do.
How do you improve if you don't begin? Oh. Anyways.
Yeah, we popping off right now. We just spitting facts, bro.
I'm Confucius right now. Yeah.
I mean, and starting is a very difficult thing for sure, but it's like easy but difficult. It's kind of a weird like thing to juggle.
Yeah.
How do you start? How do you hit that go live? Do you just force yourself to, or is it like a mental like meditation or?
I'm like, people are waiting for me. It's crazy because people actually plan their schedules around my stream schedule, and I feel so honored. I'm like, dang. People are actually looking forward to my streams, to hanging out with me because, like whatever they're going through. And it's just like, it makes me want to just start. So for me, I'm fortunate to have like those people around me, and they really push me to be great. So
that's amazing. And do you have any we'll link your Twitch stream and everything on the screen, but what else do you have do you want to say anything to your audience? Do you want to promote anything?
Hello. So awkward.
Hi. Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Yeah, just like I'm really thankful that we can grow together. So like I've been talking a lot about personal growth as well. I feel like when you grow like personally, everything else kind of blossoms as well. So yeah, let's just continue to grow together as people, like music, anything in life, and yeah, just keep holding on. I do have an EP coming out. Yes, I'm gonna announce that soon. And otherwise, yeah, you can check my stream out for 4 days a week, maybe 5. And thanks for having me on.
Awesome. No, thanks for having us. Or having us.
Who else is here?
This is your podcast now.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it was great having you on, and I appreciate you having this conversation with me. And I think you have you're very comfortable in front of a camera naturally. Yeah. I'm honestly still kind of nervous. I don't know
Hello.
I don't know how you do it.
No, here's the tip. Here's a tip.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to be silly.
Silly. Okay.
Yeah.
Should I like kiss the camera? No. Too far?
Sure. Well, I don't know. Is that your silliness?
Okay, well, we'll workshop it.
Yeah, I think.
We'll talk about it.
Maybe I think the silliness is like eat soy sauce gummies. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll prepare that next time. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great conversation, and I know the way I kind of end things all the time is just like, this is a platform to, like, sort of, I'm learning a lot about the industry, and I learn a lot like having conversations like this, and I hope you as the audience and the listener also like gain like a little bit of something out of it. And we really appreciate your feedbacks and positive comments. It really helps us, like as Mina said, like gives us the energy to keep on going, and gives us like the feeling that we're doing the right thing, we're on the right path. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you later.